Welcome to Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by area realtor Jim York and York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information about the local real estate market, featuring leading experts in the real estate field.
Good morning and welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. I'm Michael York with the York Real Estate Group. I'm joined here today by my father, Jim York, and as well Bobby Clampett, former PGA Tour pro, CBS sports anchor, and also the founder of the Impact Zone Golf. Bobby, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Good to be with you, Mike.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this point throughout your career and where you're from.
Well, I grew up in a place called Pebble Beach, California, if you've ever heard of that.
I have.
Yeah, and obviously to be able to have the opportunity to learn to play golf in that area was something that was a great privilege and turned me onto the game at a very young age. In fact, I was 10 years old when I started playing, and within 6 months I was hooked, already competing. And then after high school, went to Brigham Young University on a full golf scholarship and joined the tour right after that. And 15 years on the tour and 25 years at CBS and 5 years on the Champions Tour, and this past year retired from competition to run what we're doing here at Impact Zone Golf and trying to help the game through helping people better understand how to improve their games through our impact-based teaching system.
Very nice.
Bobby, maybe just elaborate a little bit about how you came up with the Impact Zone Golf. I've been reading a lot about it, and it helps the average player without changing his swing, right?
Right. It came out a lot of my own personal story. And my story was, two-time Fred Haskins Award winner, which is our equivalent of the Heisman Trophy in golf, and being the only two-time Heisman winner in golf, or Haskins winner. And coming out on tour and having 2 good years on tour, qualifying, representing the United States on the World Cup team, winning the U.S.-Japan All-Star match, had a win at the Southern Open, finished 3rd in the U.S. Open, and did some good things starting out, but I wanted to get better. And for the first time, I broke away from my longtime teacher, Ben Doyle, because I wanted to improve. I felt like my game had kind of plateaued, and I wanted to take it to the next level. And I went and sought the advice of the 4 leading coaches of that time, and all 4 of them wanted to change my style of swing. They said things to me like, your style of swing's got limitations, it'll never hold up, and it's you're going to have to play around it, and you got to do this and that. And the reality was, I listened to them, and my game did nothing but get worse and continued to get worse. And it led to, I managed to stay on the tour for 15 years, but I never played anywhere near like I did my first 2 years. And as I went and became a broadcaster with CBS invented something called the BizHub Swing Vision camera, which is now part of every golf broadcast, this high-speed slow motion. And I got fascinated with it and would hang out with some of my buddies, some of them actually live here too, in Naples, and would start to study the best players in the game and what they did with the help of the BizHub Swing Vision, which was like looking at the golf swing under a microscope. This is a camera that could produce up to 70,000 frames a second in high definition.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And so I started to look at the likes of, the Bubba Watsons and the Jim Furyk's and it's just a multitude, Lee Trevinos, guys that have kind of goofy swings, right, but are great players.
Yep.
But yet when you go take a lesson, the first thing the teacher's going to do is say, oh, no, you're swinging all wrong. You got to swing this way. And kind of a connect the dots approach is the way golf has been traditionally taught. You got to set up a certain way. You got to be in all these certain positions. And yet the best players in the game don't do that. So what do they do? And it led me down a study of impact. And I saw, and it was really an aha moment, how I saw that their impacts are all the same, though their styles and ways of getting there are all different. And it led to the writing of a book almost 8 years ago called The Impact Zone that started this movement of discussion about impact, because until then, nobody had really talked about impact. It was almost as if it wasn't important. It was all about, you got to do it this way, you got to swing this way and be in this position. And it kind of launched a whole movement of what we call impact-based instruction. So kind of quietly, while I was broadcasting, while I was playing the Champions Tour, it started growing organically. And to the point where I was even told that in private interviews of the top 100 instructors, over a third of them claimed that my book was the most influential book in their teaching.
Wow.
Even though I didn't even know who these people were.
Wow.
And it was kind of quietly invading the golf instruction world. And then you started hearing talk more and more in the instruction circles about impact, where it had never been mentioned before. And it just started to grow to such a point, and then we launched a DVD training system that has been very successful, and started to do some remote golf schools around the country that were also successful. And it just continues to mushroom to the point where we decided to really take it to another level, tipping point, so to speak, and do this investment here in Naples with our world headquarters here in this studio, and also with our Greengrass Academy at the Ritz-Carlton Golf Resort at Tiburon.
Absolutely. Well, when we return, Bobby's going to tell us why he chose Naples for his first headquarters.
Thinking of buying a home located in a golf course community in the Naples, Marco, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Here is what Mark Lai, former PGA winner, says about Realtor Michael York of the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty.
Hi, I'm Mark Lai. If you have any real estate needs in Naples, Florida, the one company to contact is the York Real Estate Group. Also, if you want a golf course property to invest in, Michael York of the York Real Estate Group is the guy to contact. Michael knows every golf course in Naples. I will tell you this, he's been in the golf business for a long time. He's played all the great golf courses down here, and he is an outstanding realtor. I've known him for quite some time, and he's he's got a lot of integrity, and he very much knows his stuff on all the different clubs here in Naples. So the York Real Estate Group is a great place to start. So if you have any time or anybody that wants to visit down here in Naples and look at the options out there, please contact the York Real Estate Group.
Welcome back. Bobby, tell us a little bit about how you chose Naples as the headquarters for Impact Zone Golf.
Well, I first got to come to Naples when I was with CBS, and we were broadcasting the Shark Shootout at Tiburon. And kind of ironic that it would all circle back to where we are today, but that was my first introduction to Naples, and really, really liked the area initially. And when I joined the Champions Tour, my family, all 5 of our kids were born in Raleigh, North Carolina, and were raised in the Raleigh area. And when I joined the Champions Tour, it was at the very tail end of my youngest high school career, and she was about to graduate. And I had a real hard time preparing for the Champions Tour that year. It was a brutally cold winter. And I was a little bit fed up of trying to practice and work on my game in 38-degree weather with the wind blowing 20 miles an hour. Just wasn't really what I was.
That's not fun?
No, it wasn't that much fun. So the following year, I had some friends here. Of course, Mark Lai, who you know, and Peter Jacobs, and a couple of tour buddies of mine lived down here, and I contacted them, and then I had a couple other friends that lived here as well. And before I knew it, I decided to kind of come down the following year and look for a place maybe to rent for a few weeks and work on my game, which is what I did. And started practicing at some of the local clubs and getting to know the area a little bit. And then, of course, went back out on the Champions Tour and competed there, as I did for the last 5 years. And the following year, came back again and wanted to again rent, and contacted my realtor, and he said, I told him, I said, if something comes up, here's what I'm looking for. And he found something for me. We ended up buying a home here in Bonita Beach, on the beach over there, and just loved it, and still love it. And really just grown very fond of the area, and so much so that we decided that we also live in California part-time, where I'm from, in Carmel. But we decided that with the growth of impact zone golf and what we're doing, this would make the most sense to plant our feet and make our world headquarters here. And so this year being the first year, this past year, the first year that I have not been on the tour, we sought the opportunity to invest and build our world headquarters. And we found our building here at 1040 Collier Center Way and built this fall, and just recently opened, and now starting January 1, open at the Ritz-Carlton Golf Resort.
Very nice. It's a great spot to open a golf academy in the country.
It's fantastic. Couldn't be happier about it. It really is a dream come true. The vision was planted a few years ago. I didn't think it was going to come to fruition this quickly, but it has, and we've developed an amazing team. We have 12 instructors on our staff already, 17 employees and contractors in the business, and many other partners. And it's just, it's really been a lot of fun to watch it grow, to start from just a concept and grow to this, because the great thing about it is it just works. And you know, we're in an environment where traditional golf instruction hasn't helped most people, unfortunately. And I've been told that 70% of the people who take lessons say it doesn't help them.
Yep.
And with 4 million golfers in the United States quitting every year, and they talk about it costs too much, they talk about it takes too much time, but what they don't talk about too much, they say it's too hard, but if you get underneath that and look, there's a big frustration level of most golfers and why they don't get better. And a lot of my students come to me and say, you know, I've been playing golf for so long and I'm still an 18 handicap, and I just, you know, I plateaued and I never get any better. And they don't understand cause and effect. They don't understand when they hit a bad shot, why they hit a bad shot, and what to do about it and how to fix it. And therefore their games never do get any better.
Absolutely.
And it's a sad tale that causes so many people to quit the game all the time. And that's what we're trying to do here. We know that when people are educated on what proper impact is and how to get it, it's the stepping stone to really understanding the game and understanding how to improve. And that's what we do, and that's what all my instructors that I've trained here have, that impact-based teaching credential that I have created an actual training, and then they teach alongside me in these golf schools and have for the last 6-7 years. I've been running these golf schools while I've been competing on the Champions Tour all over the country.
Oh, really?
And that's why we have 50 instructors all over the world, but we have 12 right here in Naples.
Thinking of buying or selling a home in Naples, Marco, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Think of the most experienced York Real Estate Group associated with the #1 brokerage in Naples, Downing Fry Realty, which produced $1.9 billion in sales in 2014, controlling 43% of all transactions in Naples. Jim, Michael, and Morgan York make up the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. With over $250 million in sales transactions, they can offer you the expertise and trust you want and need in a realtor. Call them today at 239-273-6727 or visit their website, www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.
Welcome back. We're in here in the putting lab here at the Impact Zone headquarters in Naples, Florida. Just tell us a little bit about what you're doing here. Obviously, every golfer spends about half their time on the putting green, and it's one of the areas that we don't spend as much time, throughout the course of the years before, focusing on fitting. So what is it that you guys are using technology-wise? And then we'll move into what you're looking for with that technology.
Sure. Well, like we do with all of our full swing work that we do with our players, we're trying to quantify everything that we do. We measure literally every part of their game, whether it's their ball speed and spin rates, or it's where their weight distribution is and things of that nature. We really don't change our philosophy when we come into the putting studio. In the putt lab here, we've got SAM Putt Lab, Science in Motion Putting Lab. We will also be adding in some video ball roll to determine whether the player is putting the proper amount of loft on the putter at the moment of impact to get the ball to roll in the optimal roll conditions. So what we're looking at here is Sand Putt Lab is going to measure virtually every part of somebody's stroke, their path, their ability to aim correctly, their ability to return the club face to square at impact, the rhythm of the stroke, the length of the stroke. I mean, you name it, it measures pretty much everything. And then we can isolate down what the variable is that we're trying to work on with that person, and then go into a training mode and just get information and feedback on that one aspect or multiple aspects of their stroke in order to optimize it.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see you roll a couple here.
Sure.
And with all that information, you can determine if the client needs a different type of putter, a face balance or a toe balance putter.
Absolutely. There's also two different platforms here. One platform is rolling at 9.5 on a stent meter, and the other one is at about 11.5 on a stent meter, and that's going to have a big determining factor on what type of a putter you're going to use. If you're going to have more loft on a putter or less loft on the putter, it's going to be determined largely by the speed of the greens that you play in, and also the conditions of impact is where you return the club back to. So we could do some bending of putters, but we also do a lot of fitting in terms of the length of it. The weight of the putter is going to be determined largely on your ability to control your speeds. With the new rules with not being able to anchor putters that just went into effect this week, is going to really change the game for a number of people. Yep. And so we've got the Bettinardi putters that are here, that are the arm lock putters that, similar to what Matt Kuchar uses, that is going to help a lot of people kind of go through that transition phase from the anchored putter to the non-anchored, but also it's kind of a hybrid, I guess you'd call it.
Absolutely. And now with all this information, while you roll another putt here from the putter fitting and from the SAM putter system, can that be placed online for the client as well to view at any time?
Absolutely. As part of our Impact Zone Central, I think Bobby probably discussed that with you, we have the ability to take a PDF report and put it right to their Edgify page, and it's an ability to, again, baselining things. If you don't know where somebody is baseline-wise, if 6 months from now we come back and we work again,
where was the
how do you know whether you got better, if you've improved certain aspects of the game or not? So you can see on the screen here we've got a variety of different data points that we can report on. The initial aiming point, and what's your aiming bias, your aiming tendency. And what we found is that certain putter characteristics, certain shaped putters, loft on the putter, line configurations will tend to alter your aiming bias. The direction of the putter path through the hitting area, the path at impact, whether it's straight down the line, across the line, or to the right, or inside, on the line, down the line.
You can determine if you're cutting a putt, if you're pulling one.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it also tells you what somebody's kind of the putting stroke is almost like a DNA type of a thing, and some people will have a naturally arcing motion. Some people have more of a naturally straight back, straight through motion. That's going to have a determining factor on the type of putter that they would use. Absolutely. If somebody's very much of a straight back, straight through, or similar to that, you're going to go to a high MOI face balance putter that's going to really lend itself more to that type of a stroke. If you have somebody that's like a Brad Faxon or a Ben Crenshaw that are very arcing and opening and closing, then you're going to go to more of a toe hang type of a putter.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, this is great information, especially when golfers spend half the time on their greens. That's it's where you can save some easy strokes as well with what you guys are doing. So
absolutely,
I appreciate you coming on.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much, and look forward to doing it again with you.
Fantastic.
Hey Josh, we're here in the pro shop. Let's just give our viewers a little overview of what you're offering.
Right. So everything here in the Impact Zone Golf Pro Shop, we have Swing Style Don't Mean Jack t-shirts, we have Impact Zone hats, Clampett Sellers wine glasses, we have polo shirts with the Impact Zone Golf logo on them, we have Impact Zone Golf towels made by Club Glove, microfiber, really, really great stuff.
You got some shirts here?
Yep. We got our logo on the shirt there.
Some wine glasses?
Some Clampett Sellers wine glasses. So Bobby's wine company, Clampett Sellers, he has 4 different types of wine. We're going to be offering that here as well.
That's nice. That's nice. Got ball markers.
Ball markers, training aids.
Got everything.
Golfers' toolboxes, orange whips, everything that you could think to train and get better as well as have a good time with the wine.
More
We have
wine,
it all right here.
empty bottles, huh?
Yeah.
Empty bottles.
We had a good time here last night.
So tell us a little bit about this stuff.
So impact powder, the foundation behind of what we do here at Impact Zone is about impact. And so one of our staff instructors, Bernard, came up with this idea of impact powder. And what you do with impact powder is when you're hitting balls, you take the powder and put a line down on the ground and put the golf ball on the line. The idea is you should never be hitting the line because the divot's always going to happen after the golf ball.
Right.
And so if you're hitting shots and you see that the line is, the powder is being moved, you're hitting the powder, you know that your swing bottom, or dynamic number 2, is not as far forward as it should be.
Interesting. Well, there's another exciting part over here that I wanted to show our viewers, if we can get through here, is tell us a little bit about the videos, the DVDs.
So the DVDs, you know, our 3-step process is, the first step is education. And so what we want everyone to know is, what do they need to do? What are the basics of Impact Zone? What do they really need to do to change their game? And so Bobby's DVD series sort of gives them the introduction to that. It's the education process. They can watch the DVDs, read the book, and learn what Impact Zone is all about. The next step is to come train with us, and step 3 is breakthrough and reach your goals.
We're here in the fitness part of Impact Zone Golf headquarters here in Bonita Springs. We're here with Evan. Evan, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in this, and how you made it here to the headquarters.
I'd love to. So my background was I was a kinesiology student at Penn State University. I came down to Florida originally to learn under Joey DeFazalvi over at Joey D Golf in Jupiter. I'd been there for 2 years. We got to work with some of the biggest names on tour right now, learning under Joey. And then Joey and Bobby had actually been friends for 20-some years. Joey actually trained Bobby for a little while. So when Bobby was looking to open up the studio over here in Naples, he came over to Joey, and he met our team. He got a feel for the biomechanics, the fitness aspect of everything, and he said, I really want to integrate that into my instruction around the 5 dynamics. So I got talking with Bobby, and he asked me, would you be interested in coming over here and working with Darren Havis, one of the other instructors and trainers over here. And he said, would you guys want to start my fitness aspect of it, the biomechanics? And I said, absolutely, I'd love to come over. And it's been a great fit so far, building everything around those 5 dynamics and really being centered around just them has made it really easy and really fun on us as trainers over here.
Well, that's very interesting. That's a heck of a background in that university. You can't beat that education.
You can't beat it up there. No, it's a fun time up there.
But as we all know, over the last 20 years, and Tiger Woods coming on tour and TV, you know, golf's kind of morphed into more of an athletic sport, we'll call it. A lot more training than you used to see back in older days. So if you could, just let's walk through here and explain a little bit about what you guys do, the specific training, the one-on-one training, which I think is a huge benefit, and what you guys are looking to accomplish.
Absolutely. So yeah, you say Tiger really bringing the fitness component into it. It's not really all beer and peanuts anymore that after you're around. So players are really taking care of themselves. And then again, once they saw Tiger really running away with that, they thought, we need to do something to keep up with him. So you start looking to see all the players that are training real hard. You look at the Dustin Johnsons out there, the Rory McIlroys really kind of blowing up, filling out, and balancing out their bodies to really, A, prevent injury, and B, to really up their performance out there, making sure that they can stay up with everybody else like that. So
absolutely. And what's some of the equipment that you guys use here? I mean, everybody wants to go into the gym and
sure,
you know, and throw up 200 on the bench press and start going at it, but that's not really what's going to increase the mobility or the distance off the tee.
Absolutely. So the first thing that players do see when they come into the gym is usually the big weights, the heavy weights, and they see Rory doing a deadlift, they see a Dustin benching or something like that, and they get freaked out a little bit. They think that's really what I have to start doing, and reality, not at all is what we're going to start most players doing. Understanding your body, understanding the brain to muscle connection, how things are firing, are you using the correct muscles to do a certain movement in your swing and in an exercise is the first few weeks, if not months of a program usually, where we're not going to be giving you those heavy weights like they're doing. So you see a lot of the equipment, you see a lot of the weights, that kind of thing. Very slowly we start to gradually get players into that kind of thing really, but
and everything you guys do here with all of the equipment that you see and the process that you guys go through really leads to the impact zone and how how your muscles and your brain to muscle movement correlates into you squaring the club face back up, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the assessment process that we do have players that come in, first thing that they do is meet with either Darren or myself, and we go through an assessment that's geared around those 5 dynamics. Flat left-wristed impact, 4-inch in front swing bottom, lag and load, straight club path. We want to see if their body can generate all of those patterns and all those movements. If there's limitations, before we even get a club in their hands, we say, I bet that you're going to struggle with 1, 3, and 4 because their wrists, they have problems with their wrists, they have limited mobility. What can we start to do around that to start to make sure either can they get there, or we might have to tweak things a little bit to make it a little easier on them if there's a previous injury or something like that around.
So everything that's geared in here is geared towards getting your clients at their peak performance to get back into the impact zone that Bobby, so it's a specific plan once you determine in a process to get there, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. So players come in, they tell us their goals, they tell us their background, physical background, and they're playing.
Maybe.
Absolutely, we need to know all that to take into consideration for what kind of program that we're going to start to build them, whether they're a recreational player, I play once a week, something like that, maybe twice a month, or you might have the younger college student that they're saying, I need to make this team, I want to get my pro card, I want to go on after college, and they might be in here 3 times a week, really going hard at it. So just understanding the players' goals, their mindset, what they're looking to get out of it, that's the biggest thing that we do in building a program like that.
Absolutely. Well, I think this is one of the key parts of golf moving forward. I'm huge on it, and I want to thank you for being on the show and taking time to do this for us.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to having you back.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it.
You got it.